YouTube? Jay Anderson IV here again. Finally, after a while, with a review for you today on the Ruger LC9. As always, it's going to be completely ad-libbed, so it may run long and it may not be the smoothest thing ever, but it's the real deal, you know? I'm not going to practice 30 times before I do it, so I can pretend like I'm the best guy ever, you know? Anyways, where to start off? Yeah. This is the Ruger LC9. Your price is coming in $300 to $350 is generally what I'm seeing. And with that, you'll get this nice little carrying case. You'll obviously get the Ruger LC9, which has previously been safety checked. Everything's clear. One of the immediate minor disappointments with the LC9 is that you only get one magazine. I wish you would have gotten more, at least two. The good news, though, is the magazine, my fingerprints have got it all messed up here. I don't know if you can see, is very shiny, nice, well taken care of magazine. Somewhere on here, right there, if it'll come through the camera, it says it's made in Italy, and it's a very smooth running magazine. It doesn't sound that way, but you can feel it. I'm pretty sure it's a Metgar, so that's nice. Just wish they would give us more. Also, they give you this this floor plate here that's interchangeable. I leave the one on with the tab there. Basically, you can either have one that's completely flush with the gun or one that's not. And I found that unless that pinky tab is there, there is no way you're getting 3 fingers on the gun. I know tactically speaking and realistically speaking, you only need 2 fingers. You don't need that third, but I like having that pinky there. That's more conventional to me. It feels much more comfortable. Right, moving along. Anything else I need to show? Oh yeah, also with the package, you get this awesome gun lock by Ruger, printed on by Ruger. You get 2 keys with that. You also get 2 of these takedown keys, which I'll get to in a minute. But these are, well, why not now? With these keys, you can actually, in the side of the gun here, safety lock it, which doesn't prevent you from doing anything other than, well, it just disconnects the trigger actually. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can still put a round in the chamber, you can still drop the mag, you can do all those things. Your trigger's disconnected. Of course, once your trigger is reconnected, it goes off. It is not double action, it is single action. We'll get to the trigger momentarily. Yeah, so aesthetics. It's kind of a cool looking little gun. I really like the look of the muzzle there. It's just personal preference. Something about it looks cool. I like that the side is just laser engraved. I don't know if I can even get it to come through. It says LC9 on the slide right there, and not much else. Loader chamber indicator. It's just a good, sleek looking little black gun. And little is right. This thing is tiny. When I say that I like that laser engraving, Glock has just got, you know, too much going on the side of it. What do we have here? We got Glock, we got 32, Austria, 357. I like a clean gun. It's 1911 here. I like this side. All these guns have been safety checked, by the way, if it makes you feel better. It's empty. But yeah, that side's nice and clean, very traditional. Model 1911, caliber 45, whatever. This side, though, it's got Springfield Armory on it, it's got the crest on it, it's got this front serrations. Too busy, too much going on. I really like how simple the Ruger is. Sorry, just to show you, this one has also been safety checked. It's clear. Firepower, chambering capacity. Well, if you couldn't guess from the 9 in the LC9, the Ruger LC9 is chambered for 9mm. This means if you are in military where you're limited to ball ammunition only, this is probably not a preferable choice. If you're at law enforcement or civilian concealed carry, great idea. 9mm is completely adequate especially when you consider the use of hollow points and other different kinds of ammunition. Plenty of people have lost their lives to 9mm. Plenty of people have been hit with a 9mm, and let's just say you wouldn't like it. You wouldn't stand in front of it if you had the option. A lot of people just bash that cartridge way too much. So you got that. The capacity takes a little bit of a hit. It's, I don't know if this will show or not. It can hold 7+1, which is okay. That's on par with what your 1911 is going to be carrying. Of course, your 1911 has 7+1 of 45 ammunition. Your Glock, this is a Glock 32, I've got 13+1 of 357 SIG, or 9mm. So, almost double the firepower. Of course, what you're losing is size. But I'll get to that in a minute, I think. And if not, I'll come back to it. Accuracy. Got a lot written here. This gun is a little bit of a trick to shoot. The sights, let me get out from behind the gun. The sights are actually relatively nice. They're low profile, but they're not like one of those low profile revolver sights where you can't get a really good sight picture and it's really just for point shooting in a defensive situation. They're actually decent sights. What I will say is this gun is so lightweight, I'm talking just over 17 ounces, and with such a small barrel that it does kick. It's a little Pitbull. And really my biggest hit on it is the trigger. For me personally, I don't like the trigger. Basically, I find the trigger pull to be very long, and it's a double action trigger pull. Those are snap caps, they're safe. If you watch here, it goes back, 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 click. And then once you fire that shot, that was a bad idea, you go forward on the reset, you hear that first click, it's a trick. It hasn't reset yet. No matter how hard you pull, it's not going off. You have to come all the way forward to here, that second click. And then you start to pull, 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 click again. So it's got a really long trigger pull, and when it breaks, you kind of have this extra little bit of over travel that will kind of jerk you off target, even if you're not jerking. Just the release of that pressure from the trigger, which I think is around a 4 or 5 pound trigger. I may have misquoted that. That 4 or 5 pounds that all of a sudden gets released and has extra room is jerking your muzzle off to some direction you don't want it to be. Of course, there you see a loaded chamber indicator doing its job. I think loaded chamber indicators are a bit unnecessary, but that's not a hit because it's not hurting anything. It doesn't get in the way of your sight picture at all when it's up. And it's just that extra level of safety for some people who may or may not need it. Beyond that, I'm going to have to edit this video a lot. I'm dragging. Finding at 7 yards without very much practice, you're going to hit somebody in the body every time. Your groups are not going to be that great though. It's going to be pretty spread out, especially if you have to do rapid fire. It's going to be all over the torso. It's not going to be some tight little center mass group. Regardless though, if you're in a life or death situation, it's enough. Especially if we're talking most defensive encounters where the person's going to be at 3 yards or less, it'll get the job done. Another thing I talked about was frame fit. And if you look here, the LC9 is actually fit to the frame. Oh god, hey. That was a 40. Hey. You think, assholes. That's it!